disrespected me. You embarrassed me. You embarrassed our whole family. All you had to do was acknowledge me as the tribal chief.
You beat my ass, but you ain't break my spirit.
Want another shot?
This is all about the bloodline.
It's yours at Hell in a Cell.
Cousin versus cousin.
This time there's going to be real consequences.
For the first time ever, locked inside Hell in a Cell.
The highest stakes that any match has ever had in WWE history.
You only win the match when your opponent says, I quit.
This isn't over until I say it's over.
Drew McIntyre still has hell to pay.
My title and my legacy on the line, I'm not sending you to purgatory.
Welcome to my hell. Come inside and see me.
It is Randy Orton challenging Drew McIntyre for the WWE title inside the demonic Hell in a Cell.
And now, WWE Network presents Hell in a Cell Kickoff.
WWE Universe, a sadistic, demonic steel structure, is the centerpiece of this annual event, waiting to victimize the superstars who willingly step inside in an effort to prove themselves inside here at the WWE Thunderdome. It is Hell in a Cell, and there is no telling what terror awaits as we move closer and closer to showtime. Hello, everybody. Welcome on into the Hell in a Cell kickoff show. I am your host, Charlie Caruso. Super pumped to be joined by this star-studded cast of panelists. So let's get those introductions started, shall we? First of all, over here to the far right, I don't really know my directions these days, WWE Hall of Famer, Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh, I am so excited. We have kings galore, we have Hall of Famers aplenty, and we have Pete Rosenberg.
Oh, you already had to call him out already?
That's all right. Yes,
Dang.
I am going to.
This is going to be a ruthless panel tonight, I think.
We're going to have a Hall of Fame, king-size, Hell in a Cell show, in spite of Pete.
Well, that is a very time-appropriate moniker, too, king-size, as Halloween is approaching.
Exactly.
And from one king to another, two-time WWE Hall of Famer, Booker T.
I appreciate that. Where my camera at, huh? Where we at? We ready to get our champagne, which is caviar drink. Hell in the Cell inside the Thunderdome. Hey, I like you, Pete.
I got one.
Oh, you like him now.
I threw him a bone earlier.
Thanks, Bud. I appreciated that, Bud.
Now we have WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett, his very first time on a WWE kickoff panel, too, might I add.
My maiden voyage. I'm so excited to be here. First time in the Thunderdome. King. Is it Pete, Petey, Peter, Mr. Rosenberg?
Why don't I introduce him?
Yes.
There you go,
He's on ESPN.
I'm excited to be here.
He's on Hot 97. Peter Rosenberg.
Thank you, Chuck. At Rosenberg Radio on your social medias. And by the way, we have 3 Hell in a Cell matches tonight. I'm extremely excited to be here.
Well, gentlemen, we know that Hell in a Cell brings along some brutal consequences with it. What are you all expecting to see here tonight? Booker, you want to start?
Pandemonium. That's what Dusty Rhodes would say. So definitely we're going to see some guys go out there. Career-changing moments could happen in matches like this. This is why I'm still upright right there and playing golf on Sundays, because of not being in the Hell in a Cell match. It definitely takes years, perhaps, off one's life.
Do you think that the superstars who are entering Hell in a Cell tonight, do you think they're worried? Do you think they're nervous? Do you think they're scared? Are they ready to go, Jeff?
I mean, tonight, it's, you know, you can say it's going to be career making or career breaking. And when you step inside, you know, I've never been in the Hell in a Cell match, but I'm glad. Like, look, I want to be upright on Sundays, but no, I think tonight experience is the word of the night. When you look at the 3 championship matches, experience going into each of those, I think experience wins.
And we're going to delve into the intricacies of each of the matches later on, but experience plays a role in these matches, and there are several matches tonight where you see very different range of experience levels, you know, veterans going against first timers, and that is the case in a couple different matches. So excited to get right in.
Well, you know, there's one thing tonight that's happening that nobody has ever experienced before, because tonight is going to be the first Hell in a Cell match that is going to be decided not by pinfall, not by submission, but by saying I quit. That's never been done before.
And how big is that?
That's huge. It's huge.
Okay, guys, well, we have a lot to get to, so what do you say we tell everyone first and foremost where they can watch Hell in a Cell, because that is of the utmost importance, so everybody listen up. There is only one place to catch all of the action. That is on the WWE Network, so right now, everybody, you have one job. Go to WWENetwork.com and subscribe, because Hell in a Cell is included in that subscription. Not only that, next month's Survivor Series also included in that WWE Network subscription. But Peter, we have a lot to talk about tonight, so let's get the card started.
Absolutely. This is gigantic. Drew McIntyre trying to fend off Randy Orton again. This time, it's Hell in a Cell for the WWE Championship.
And as we all know, there can be only one Mr. Money in the Bank. And after the court ruled in Miz's favor, Otis must now put his Money in the Bank briefcase and that guaranteed title opportunity on the line. So the question is, who will deliver the closing argument tonight? We are going to find out.
Also, right here, streaming live on our kickoff show, we have a lot to get to, including, how about this? Jeff Hardy taking on Elias.
All right, and we have another spectacular match that's going down. It is going to be for the Universal Championship. We have Roman Reigns taking on his bloodline, Jey Uso, in a I Quit Hell in a Cell match.
I cannot wait for that. That's the match I'm most excited about, but there's more, because of course, we have the champion, Bayley, taking on her best friend, Sasha Banks, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, this is the match we're going to talk about first and foremost. You know, these two, they were former best friends. They were also tag team champs together, and now SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley and Sasha Banks, they're going to do whatever they can to put an end to each other's success. Tonight, there will be nowhere to hide as these two trailblazers do battle inside Hell in a Cell with the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line as Sasha attempts to end Bayley's historic reign.
Our friendship is unstoppable.
These titles represent our friendship. We are stronger together.
We're best friends. There's nothing that's going to stand between us.
Sasha Banks is hurt, and Baszler continuing to hammer away on the injured leg. Nia Jax with a cross body.
You want to stand? I never cared about you, and I damn sure didn't care about our friendship. You deserve all of this, all of this. Do you think I enjoy doing that to my tag partner? Well, ding dong, hello? Yes, I did. I can watch that inspiring footage all day long, but I'm not going to, because I want to be done with Sasha Banks. But now it seems that she's an even bigger pain in my ass than she was before. I don't have an ounce of time to waste on that useless, poor little crybaby Sasha, because I am the most dominant women's champion that this place has ever seen.
Over 1 year of an historic reign is SmackDown.
Oh my God! I am the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, which I did all by myself.
All by yourself? Let's not forget who helped you every single time. You turned your back on me. You tried to end my career. You want hell? You got it. Me and you locked inside of hell in a cell. I am going to take the one thing that you love the most, your SmackDown Women's Championship. Because I am Sasha Banks, and my name is bigger than your title.
I don't have to sign anything. I didn't, and I won't sign the contract, so you may as well burn the damn thing. Because I know Sasha likes to call herself the boss. Well, ding dong, hello, you are not the boss of me, sister.
You don't stand a chance, bitch.
I'll show you.
You started this, and I'm gonna finish it. I'm going to take your title, and I am going to finish what you started.
You know, it really is wild to watch that package and really see where the relationship is at this point in time, because we look back to the summer, such a stark contrast. I mean, not only were they dual champions together, they were tag team champions together. They had their nicknames. Their relationship, I would say, was impossible to penetrate. They were on all three brands all the time, and now you look at them and everything has fallen apart. Peter, how personal is this rivalry, and how intense do you think this match is going to get tonight?
I mean, Charlie, this is as personal as it gets. I mean, we can talk about Roman Reigns and Jey Uso and how that's family. You can also talk about Sasha Banks and Bayley being about family. This friendship goes back not just months, this goes back years. This goes back to NXT. This goes back a very long time. And we've seen their ups and downs, but now there's no going back. This is the most appropriate time for Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
You know
go ahead.
Let me ask, how many times have I said it, man? You know, friendship and business, they don't go together. Not in this business. And the thing is, I asked Sasha Banks on Friday night, how did it feel to get played by Bayley? Bayley just set her up, man, and just knocked it clean out of the park. My thing is this, you got to have your head on a swivel, and you got to think about one thing and one thing only when it comes to this business. Actually, two things, checks and championships. That's the only thing we need to be talking about. Am I right, King?
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, they've been friends, they've been enemies, they've been friends, they've been enemies. It's like watching LeBron James and the city of Cleveland. It's crazy. But I think that tonight may put the final nail in the coffin of their relationship. I think this is going to be it.
And I want to talk about cashing checks. I mean, you know, every match means a check. Sasha has experience inside Hell in a Cell. She's been in this match twice before. She was one of the very first women to compete in a Hell in a Cell match along with Charlotte Flair.
But never won, Charlie. She's 0 for 2.
Oh, she is 0 for 2, but still, she has competed twice before.
Experience.
Now you look at Bayley, first timer. How is that factor going to play into the match tonight?
To me, it's huge. To me, a lot is riding on tonight in the transformation of Bayley. This entire year, haircut, attitude, we could go on and on with the list.
She has a flame razored into the back of her head right now.
But if she doesn't walk out there champion tonight, the transformation of Bayley, to me, is not complete. So a lot riding on the line for her.
What would you say experience is going to play in the match tonight?
Nah, I'm gonna tell you right now, Bayley was nowhere near my fave 5. You know, probably year and a half ago. But over the last 8 months into a year, Bayley has stepped it up to another level. She came out and did one thing, and that's perform at a very, very high level. I said something about Bayley. I say she may not be the best at something, but she's good at everything. So Bayley tonight, I see walking out and still champion, because I don't like Sasha Banks.
Wow.
All right, so this is actually getting a little
I know
personal.
that's going to be all over the internet.
All right, guys, well, we have a lot to get to, and right now I want to send things backstage to Kayla Braxton, who is standing by with Paul Heyman ahead of tonight's Universal Championship match inside Hell in a Cell. Kayla.
Thanks, Charlie. And joining me now, Paul Heyman. Paul, ahead of Roman's Universal title defense in his Hell in a Cell I Quit match, there's been a lot of talk about consequences. Can you tell us what the consequences will be if Jey Uso is successful in forcing Roman to say, I quit tonight?
Kayla, do yourself a professional favor and take the hype out of your voice. If Jey Uso were to be man enough, which he's not, to make Roman Reigns, to compel Roman Reigns, to force Roman Reigns to say, I quit, then Roman Reigns quits his claim as the Universal Heavyweight Champion, quits his claim as being the WrestleMania main eventer, quits his quest of being the top star ever in WWE, quits as the head of the table, the head of the family, quits his destiny as being the undisputed tribal chief for all of WWE. But when, and I do mean when, Roman Reigns forces Jey Uso to utter the words, I quit, inside Hell in a Cell, Jey Uso becomes an indentured servant. He will do the bidding for Roman Reigns at Roman Reigns' leisure, at Roman Reigns' discretion, when and how Roman Reigns tells him, commands him to do so. Those are the consequences that will occur tonight when Jey Uso says, I quit, at the hands and the dominance of the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion and your tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Let's go! Is you ready? 'Cause I'm ready right now. Kick you with that boom boom, make you turn it up now. Get up! 'Cause I know you gotta feel it right now. Get up! 'Cause I know you gotta feel me. Time to get it if you feel it, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on, baby, you can feel me. You just gotta sing along. Let's go, bring it on.
Tonight only. Buy one t-shirt and get one for $1 and save up to 50% off championship titles. Only at WWEshop.com.
All right, well, there are 3 different Hell in a Cell matches taking place tonight. Another one of those will be between the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. These two have been at each other's throats for a long time now. Tonight they will do battle once again with the WWE Championship on the line, and this time inside the demonic, the sadistic Hell in a Cell.
I didn't leave Clash of Champions with the WWE Championship.
Claymore!
Instead, I left in an ambulance. I don't remember a lot from that ride, but I do remember what happened in my match.
Every one of these legends have a gripe from this past summer with Randy Orton.
As the saying goes, with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Drew, I am talking directly to you right now. You want that legacy so badly? It'll be waiting for you. If you survive one more WWE Championship match against me inside Hell in a Cell.
Every time I see Randy Orton, or I'm in the same building as Randy Orton from now on, I kick the crap out of him. It started at the beginning of the night. It's going to continue into the six-man tag, and as far as Hell in the Cell goes, the answer's yes. It's my title and my legacy on the line, mate. I'm not sending you to purgatory. I'm sending you straight to hell.
RKO!
Drew hadn't lost via pinfall in almost 1 entire year. Drew, if that's not a sign of things to come, I don't know what is. I will be locked inside Hell in a Cell with Drew McIntyre, and I'm going to take his WWE Championship from him by hitting you with the 3 most dangerous letters in sports entertainment. R-K.
I want you to know something. When I kicked you in the skull at Clash of Champions, that was for everybody you've ever screwed over. But at Hell in the Cell, all the suffering I caused you, it'll be for me.
Oh, here we go. Drew McIntyre bringing the fight to the Legend Killer. Oh, onto the announce desk. The fight between Orton and McIntyre has spilled to the ringside area.
I cannot imagine what Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre are going to do to each other inside that barbaric structure.
I am gonna end you.
Well, here we are, King. 30 feet wide, 30 feet long, 20 feet high. We're gonna have 3 matches inside Hell in a Cell.
Right.
This is some structure.
That is going to be closed, that door closed. This padlock and this chain is going to put wrapped around there, and then just feel this, Pete. Feel how unforgiving this steel is. Can you imagine having your face, Jeff? Come
Yeah, I get it. Yep, I get it. We would not want that.
No, you would not want that.
Well,
but it's going to happen.
And I got to ask you, King, I know you've never had a Hell in a Cell match yourself, but you have called so many legendary matches.
Almost all of them.
Inside Hell in a Cell. What makes this match so different?
Oh, my gosh. For that, I need to think back on some of those matches. I mean, look at this thing. It's how many? 20 feet tall?
20 feet high, yeah.
20 feet high. I'll never forget looking up at the top of this cell and seeing Mick Foley come crashing down right into our laps and looking right in his face. And poor Mick looking up, and his tooth was sticking out of his nose. I mean, so anything can happen inside this thing. And there's no holds barred. And it's dangerous. It's so dangerous. Like they say, careers can be altered. Careers could be ended inside this Hell in a Cell tonight.
Now, one thing that's different is for the first time ever, instead of pin or submission, we have an I Quit match between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso inside a cell. What makes that so different for a cell match?
Well, I'll tell you what. I like a guy who loves to win, but I love a guy who hates to lose. And tonight, somebody is going to hate to say, I quit. And I don't really know. I don't know if either one of these guys are going to be capable of saying, I quit. That's why I cannot wait to see what happens in that match.
Well, I cannot see Roman Reigns quitting inside Hell in a Cell.
I can't see Jey Uso quitting.
I know. Let's throw it back over to Charlie Booker and Double J with their thoughts.
Let me show you one more time.
No. We're good. We're good.
All right, guys. Well, they just said they could see neither of the competitors quitting in this match. We're going to definitely break down that match later on in the show, but let's talk about Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. I want to take it back to last week's Monday Night Raw because I know Randy is a veteran of this match and it is Drew McIntyre's first time, but I will say when Drew McIntyre showed up with those wire cutters to cut off the lock where Randy Orton was standing inside the Hell in a Cell, I saw a look on Randy's face that to me looked like pure fright. Do you think that Randy Orton is a little afraid of what Drew can do to him inside Hell in a Cell?
No,
No. I can feel the tension in the arena right now. I can feel the tension right now.
Yeah.
You know, ever since I got invited to be on the kickoff panel, I've been looking forward to this, coming down, debating, analyzing, talking smack. And no, book. Let me finish. Let me finish. Because we're not talking Titans, Texans. We're not talking Rays against the Dodgers. We're talking Orton, McIntyre, RKO, Claymore. And since I walked in the building today, back at catering, Book says, you're all wrong, Double J. You're all wrong, Double J. Experience will rule the night. You watch.
That's what the thing is. Experience. Double J had the experience over me when we fought for the world championship, and who walked away? I walked away the world champion for the first time, and the thing is, that's what make me and Drew McIntyre kind of correlate. Having that first run, it means so much. You know exactly where you were on that night forevermore. Now, Randy Orton, 24 years old, the youngest champion in WWE history, 13 championships later. It gets harder and harder and harder to keep winning those championships as you go along. Look at Tiger Woods, still trying to get a green jacket, but it gets harder every year, and that's where Randy Orton is, even though he's still that man, even though he's still my guy. He's going to have a hell of a time tonight with Drew McIntyre.
So I'd like to hear prediction. Put it out there.
I just said it, didn't I? I just said it. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre being the first British-born champion. He ain't.
But on the other hand, you also said experience is of the utmost importance.
He's talking out two sides of his mouth. I'm not.
Had more experience over Muhammad Ali, and he said, I'm going to shake up the world in 64 and talk no more. And look how great of a champion he became. Hey, Drew McIntyre's my guy.
The three most important letters of the night, RKO. Orton walks out of here, guaranteed winner.
All right, guys, I like it. Well, there's another rivalry that's also taking center stage tonight. Both of them are newcomers to Monday Night Raw. We have Jeff Hardy. We also have Elias. A lot has been going on between the two of them. So what do you say? Let's take a look at what we've seen in the past weeks.
Elias.
Yeah, newcomers to Raw, but not to this business. Beautiful twist of fate by Jeff Hardy, but look who crashes the party. My guy, Elias. I'm going to tell you, what a tune right there. But when you think everything is all over, that's when everything gets a little bit crazy.
Let's do it. Brother, hand me my guitar. I don't know who you think you are, but this is Elias's show.
Gentlemen, please welcome my guest at this time. He is the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy. Jeff, do you care to comment on Elias's claims that you were responsible for the hit and run by a car which left Elias injured and out of action for months?
Sarah, I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. I've battled my demons in front of the WWE Universe for years. But I look in the mirror at myself every day, and I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I've done. And I've owned up to every mistake I've ever made. Those mistakes have made me a better man. Of course, I didn't hit Elias with that car. I was clear to that a long time ago. Elias wants to use this self-deluding vengeance tour to point the fingers at the wrong person. I hope they catch the true culprit. If Elias wants to swing his poorly tuned guitars at me, he's well aware that I'm ready to swing one right back. So the only universal truth that Elias should be worried about is the twist of fate that's waiting for him tonight.
Jeff Hardy, he's not afraid of anything. I will tell you, he came on Raw Talk this past week, accepted Elias's challenge, no questions asked, looked straight into the camera and said, yes, I am up for it, and no, I am not afraid.
Yeah, I respect
Hey, I am terribly sorry, y'all. It wasn't my fault this time. Okay?
Little Jimmy, so good to see you.
Truth.
Road Dogg, Double J. Road Dogg, Jesse James. Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody. I seen
Little
you
Jimmy,
forever.
Hey, where's Truth at?
Truth is here.
Where?
Are you sick? You got a temperature. Look,
I hope not.
I'm confused, man. Somebody need to help me out. Help Sam, my dog Sam.
Peter.
What's up, dog?
Peter. We were just talking
Truth,
5 minutes ago.
Truth,
Right.
what are you doing here?
They told me that I had a title match for my 24/7, 48/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 South European Television Championship on the Hell in a Cell kickoff. But little Jimmy told me that Raw Talk had already started, and y'all got a full panel up here on Raw Talk. Have I been you know what I'm saying, replaced?
You're mistaken
Raw
because
Talk.
this is the Hell in a Cell kickoff. This is it. You do have a match.
And I'm Kofi Kingston.
Book. I know who you is, Booker T. You know what I'm saying?
He knows you.
I know who he is.
I just checked.
Jerry the King Lawler.
There you go.
He knows this side.
Charlie.
Oh, we know. Yeah, we know each other well.
D-O-double-G.
So
Little
Truth, you
Jimmy.
do have a match.
He does.
Yes. Drew Gulak will be competing against you for your 24/7 title, which, by the way, where's? Oh, there it is.
I got it right here. Everybody
Okay,
keep their
because I
eyes
couldn't
on it.
see
Let me
it.
see that
It's my
title.
baby.
You don't want to let
That's
that
right.
out of your sight. I know that much.
You gotta see with your eyes, not your hands.
You better watch your back.
I think you
Have you
shouldn't
got
you
your
go
gear
prepare
on?
though?
You
Yeah,
got-
that's my cue. I'm out.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to go.
Peace, Truth. All right.
Jimmy.
Okay.
Wow.
He threw you off.
You know, Truth. What is this? The fourth kickoff show that he's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
randomly.
That's what the kickoff
crashed?
show is. It's when does our truth show up?
Yeah,
That's what the
and
show
he never
has
knows
become.
what's going on. He always thinks this is Raw Talk. When do you think he's going to get it through his head? I have no idea.
He'll get there. He'll get there.
Okay,
Only one
but we
truth.
were discussing, I do believe, Elias and Jeff Hardy,
Yeah.
so we should get back to that because that match has a whole lot of drama behind it, really stemming from this summer. We all know there was an accident. I've spoken to Elias. He still thinks that Jeff Hardy is responsible for that. So a lot going on, but I really would like to talk about this in further depth.
This is the Credit One Bank one to watch. Visit GoCreditOne.com. Life ever rewarded.
Oh, and speaking
Hello.
of talking about it in further depth, we have the man himself, Elias, here.
Crazy how that happens, huh?
Oh, you have a mic on. Cool.
Hey, thank you.
Album out Monday. Album out Monday.
This
I ain't
is
gonna give
how
him
I
a
should
round
be
of applause.
treated. Thank you, Book. Sam, this is great.
How are you
Go on.
feeling tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm looking great. I'm ready for this. I mean, look, I got Jeff Hardy tonight in the ring right where I want him. On top of that, after I beat him tonight, I got the album coming out tomorrow, Universal Truth. It's a big night for me, but let me break this down. I heard you guys talking. Here's the thing. On top of Jeff ruining my concert last week, the guy, he tried to run me over in a car 4 months ago on SmackDown. He could have ended my life.
Elias, that's a bunch of crap, and you know it.
I mean, you know what? I mean, I know Jeff Hardy is definitely very important, but when you coming to Houston, man? When the concert is coming to Houston? When the tour is
Book, you're
coming?
a fan.
Yeah, I'm serious,
Oh,
man.
stop.
I'm
When we're
serious.
live, when we're touring live again around the world, Houston, first stop, just for
Oh,
you.
wow.
There it is.
You buying into it, huh,
That is.
Buck?
You
You
know
buying
what?
into it just like you
Man,
buying into
this is-
McIntyre
Give me
winning.
some of them free
attitude.
tickets, man.
Listen,
Give me some of them
Elias.
free tickets.
You know as well as I do. I've known Hardy a long time. He said he didn't do it. He talked about a guy, red hair, red beard. Please, cut
the
it.
attitude from this guy is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Jerry,
first of all,
you ought to get some
Jerry,
yourself one
he's
day.
sitting
First of
here-
all, if you don't like the way Jeff drives, stay off the sidewalk. Second of all, I heard that this may be a rumor or not, that your album is not going to be released. It escaped. Is that true?
Wow,
See-
that's so
see,
clever. Jerry,
No,
where'd you come up with that one, man?
Well,
you
you
spent
know.
all day thinking that one? Well, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Hey,
And
listen,
I gotta
Elias,
sit
you know,
here-
you know what I sense?
Let's hear it.
I sense a lot of jealousy.
Lot of hate.
Because there have been a lot of people in wrestling who've tried to be musicians before,
Wow.
and they were frauds.
Speaking
have a
of
talent.
You're
which,
the real. I wasn't
Speaking of
even.
which-
No, I wasn't even.
I mean, I
Didn't have
inspired
the
this
talent.
guy.
Yeah,
You know, my
you-
whole
you-
career
you
has
the
been an
real deal.
inspiration to him.
Do you?
I was everything
Wait,
that Jeff
let's flip
Jarrett wanted
that.
to
I
be.
was an inspiration
And do you,
to
but
you.
is there a song maybe you could play? I
Of course.
mean,
Look, I've always got
now
something.
Jeff Jarrett's
you're
first
crazy.
time
You
you
trying
know
to you trying to give him some personality as well. Everybody's tried.
Listen,
There we
listen.
go.
Here, this one's just for
like one of
for
those
Jeff for
bag
giving me so
trays,
much
you
attitude.
know.
It goes like this.
This is for Jeff?
Yeah, Jerry, I need you to shut your mouth for a minute, okay?
See that?
Jeff, I seen your mug up on the Thunderdome screen. Now I'm sitting here knowing you're gonna dress like Elias for Halloween. What's with guys named Jeff? Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy. If I didn't know any better, I'd think Jeff was Spanish for junkie.
Oh, man.
Junkie.
That's.
Oh, my goodness. Junkie.
That's a hit. That's a hit.
You think that's another hit?
That's a hit.
I liked it.
Thank you, Book.
You like that?
Oh,
like
man.
That?
This has been the Credit One Bank One to watch. Visit GoCreditOne.com. Life ever rewarded.
All right, well, the Miz and Otis, they're also embroiled in a legal battle that will be decided tonight when they face off to determine who the rightful owner of that Money in the Bank briefcase is. A trial was held this past Friday night on SmackDown, and JBL was riding over the court. Multiple superstars also took the stand to testify.
That boy good.
That boy good. That boy's good.
All rise. Court of Thunderdome is now in session.
In this case, Mr. Mizanin is suing the defendant, Otis, for emotional distress, creating an unsafe work environment, and Money in the Bank negligence.
I think I deserve the Money in the Bank contract because I won the Money in the Bank ladder match. Thank you.
He should be able to cash in that contract anytime he wants. He wants straight up.
私、ミスマネーザバンクとしては勝ったんやからね、いつでもキャッシュインできるはずや。
Did you get any of that?
Every single word, player.
Otis, they say he assaults a lot of people. It's hard to put into words the trauma, and it's not necessarily the physical scars, it's the scars in here that hurt the most.
Otis is my best friend. And while he might not be as educated as some, the big man is sensitive. Miz, you crossed the line. And now that I think about it, I want to beat the crap out of you right now.
Order in the court! Shut up! I'm supposed to believe that Otis is responsible for emotional distress and creating an unsafe work environment. He's a WWE superstar. That's pretty much a job description. It is established in the contract that the Money in the Bank winner has a full year to cash in. I have absolutely no choice but to rule in favor of the plaintiff, The Miz. Otis, you are ordered to appear at WWE Hell in a Cell this week, and you will face The Miz, and the winner will get and keep the Money in the Bank contract. We are adjourned.
Yes.
Okay, things did not turn out the way Otis had hoped for.
And Otis. Oh my
at
gosh.
all. And here to help us discuss what we just saw and what's going to happen tonight, we welcome in Miz and Morrison.
Thank you for having us.
Gentlemen, Miz, I'm curious. So I know that JBL was leaning towards ruling in favor of Otis, but there was a last-second switch. There was some evidence presented to him where he decided
piece of evidence.
And what
Charlie.
what was that exactly?
It was a key piece of evidence.
Use your imagination.
That needed to be put out there. It was put out there. The judge made a incredible, honorable decision.
Think
and
about
now
it this way, Chuck.
Here we are.
And what was
Otis
the
and Tucker are
evidence?
playing chess. We're playing shoots and ladders.
Okay, so you're not going to share what the evidence was.
And it's easy to
Just
win
was
shoots
key.
and ladders.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, that didn't make sense. But
Oh, if you think about it,
yeah,
you go straight to the top.
Right, absolutely. Now,
if you know the way, and we know the way.
This is everything that's wrong with the legal system in America. You guys have no case. Miz, how in any way do you deserve the briefcase? Otis won the match fair and square. I don't care what evidence you gave. It doesn't make sense.
What company do you work for? Do you work for WWE?
I do.
Yes, you do, right?
Yes.
Now, in this company, do you see a person like Otis being the cover child of WWE, representing us in the media all over the world, being a WWE or Universal Champion? Let's put it this way.
Do you care about your jobs?
Yeah, do you care about your jobs? I'm looking after the company. And when I have the Money in the Bank, I'm not going to look at it as a prop. I'm looking at it as something that is important. And I will definitely, 100%, make sure that when I cash in after I beat Otis, I will be the WWE champion. I will be the Universal champion. And guess what? They will be on notice. Everyone is put on notice, every single superstar. Because if you hold that WWE Universal Championship, I'm the one that's going to take it from you.
People are going to tune in to see that.
Ratings!
No one's going to tune in to see Otis. People know he's never going to cash in. This is what we're talking about. We need someone like MCMIZ to step up and save this company.
Booker, you know.
Yeah, you know what? I believe in the finders, keepers, losers, weepers rule. So I agree with you guys, just to put that out there. All right?
Let's talk about another thing, Booker. Since we have you, being a champion, there are many pressures that people don't understand. Most people don't understand that because they've never been a WWE Universal Champion. They don't understand the pressures that come with that. You do, I do, and now everyone else will understand.
No, I totally understand. I respect everything you guys are saying. Somebody like Peter, he may not understand. King may not. Jeff, he may not understand. But trust me, the 5-time, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, I understand. I see you guys in the Hall of Fame.
Gentlemen, we gotta let you go, but
I see both of you guys.
Thank you for your time. Morrison, thank you for your time. And Miz, good luck tonight.
No need for luck when you're
All
this
right,
good.
guys, we are getting the action started here on the kickoff show. The 24/7 championship is up for grabs. So let's send things over to the Raw commentary team for that match right here on the kickoff show. Guys.
Thank you, Charlie. Tom Phillips alongside Byron Saxon and Samoa Joe. Gentlemen, this is a huge night. Not only, as you just heard, is the Money in the Bank contract at stake, but Joe, 5 title matches tonight and 3 Hell in a Cell matchups.
Oh, you're absolutely right. 3 Hell in a Cell matchups, or I like to call them the great decider of fate. I mean, it's been a long, long time since we've seen this much carnage in one night, and I'm very much looking forward to it, Tom.
Let's get it started right now. Y'all know what time it is. To the part we crank it up. Here we go. People a little bit bad. What's up? You feel me? Say what's up. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I can get with this, or you can get with that. You better get with this. Cause this is where it's at. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Can't nobody else walk like I walk. Can't nobody else talk like I talk. Can't nobody else keep the stride. The 24/7 champ has arrived. I'm a legend, kicking the game. Everybody knows I touch the darn thing. Lottie-dottie, I like to party. Truth be told, I be kicking like karate. Hold up, I'ma load up. But now blowed up, Velcro sold up. Grand finale just begun. You can say grand slam, it's a home run. Over there, what's up? You feel me? Say what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? What's up? WWE Thunderdome, make some noise! What's up?
I'm glad Truth actually made it out here, considering you just found out about the match, what, like 10 minutes ago?
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the 24/7 Championship! Making his way to the ring from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 203 pounds, Drew Gulak!
Well, tonight, WWE Hell in a Cell is brought to you by Cricket Wireless. When Awesome calls, you answer. Smile, you're on Cricket. And gentlemen, with that, joining us tonight live via WWE Thunderdome, some of Cricket's very own superstars.
Right behind us, I like it, all right? We're in good company here.
I got ringside seats here, especially as we get things started here on the Hell in a Cell kickoff show with the 24/7 championship match. The champion, R-Truth, set to defend against Drew Gulak. Remember the rules of the championship. The title must be defended anytime, anywhere, but those rules are suspended while this match is underway.
This is actually the most peaceful portion of the 24/7.
So, little Jimmy's got to get out of the ring first.
Yeah, that's little Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah? Hey, little Jimmy!
No!
It's all right, I just want to talk to him. Little Jimmy, hey, how you doing, buddy? It's Drew Gulak. Yeah, come here. It's cool, come here.
Come here.
I
Yeah.
shouldn't talk to strangers, Jimmy.
Hey, guy, how you doing? Okay, yeah? Aha. High five, that's good. Yeah, come on, give me another one. Boom, yeah, real good. Yeah, you know this one? Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, yeah, little Jimmy, my man. All right, hey, come here, take a seat. He's so good. What a nice guy, little Jimmy's the man.
Oh! Stranger danger!
What was that for? And R-Truth all over Drew Gulak for whatever Gulak just did to little Jimmy.
Hey, I don't want to know what just happened to little Jimmy, but R-Truth is making Drew Gulak pay for it.
Byron, I don't even know how to begin to explain that to you. Oh, and down goes Gulak. Truth into the cover, hook to the leg, and a kick out.
Yeah, I love this version of R-Truth.
Oh, R-Truth, Joe, a 42-time, 24/7 champion. It's astonishing.
You know, when we talk about fighting champions, I mean, obviously Drew McIntyre, he's the front of the pack, but you got to admit, R-Truth, he's making a case here.
Oh, greatest 24/7 champion of all time.
Joe, I'm glad you brought up the idea of being a fighting champion. You know, R-Truth, he's won a lot of his 24/7 titles by a lot of hijinks in every place you can imagine in the
strategy,
WWE universe.
hijinks, strategy,
but
potato.
But in a conventional match like we're seeing right now, doesn't that favor Drew Gulak?
Oh, it absolutely favors Drew Gulak. And let me explain why. Drew Gulak is a mat technician. And as you're about to see right now, this man will put you on the mat, twist you in ways that your body was not meant to be twisted.
Well, Drew Gulak has not been shy about his distaste for R-Truth and his reign as 24/7 champion. He actually believes that R-Truth tarnishes what it is to be 24/7 champion.
Oh, man. Attacking the left leg of Truth. Close to 15 minutes now until the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view event begins streaming live on the WWE Network.
This is classic Drew Gulak right here, taking his time.
Just tearing at that knee ligament. You know, if you want to ground a 24/7 champion, this is the most effective way.
Truth trying to utilize that one good leg, and he does successfully so.
Truth was trying to scamper away from Drew Gulak and Akira Tozawa in the Lucha House Party this past week on Raw during the tag team matchup between Miz and Morrison, Tucker and El Gran Gordo.
Hey.
Now
Nice.
Gulak into the cover, kick out.
Remember, Drew Gulak is a multiple-time 24/7 champion in his own right.
And right back on that knee, Tom.
Drew Gulak trying to capture his 4th 24/7 championship. Title can only change hands via pinfall or submission in the ring.
This is not looking good for R-Truth right now.
It's just a little thing, just that little chin grab, torque in that knee, just that bit more.
And R-Truth grabbing the bottom rope, that'll break up the submission.
Beautifully done by R-Truth, but I mean, he's going to need to get some momentum underneath him if he wants to turn around his fortunes.
A big night as the WWE Universe watching from around the world via the live interactive viewing experience known as WWE Thunderdome, and it's Drew Gulak in complete command for a moment of the champion.
Hey, great counter by the champ.
R-Truth, the wily veteran. Oh, Joe, look at this.
Oh, and R-Truth's got the engine running.
He's channeling his childhood hero, Joe, John Cena.
Well, here's the best part.
It was an interesting childhood.
Long childhood, I guess. Truth is timeless.
Age is just a number.
Oh, trying to set up Gulak now. Little five-knuckle shuffle for Gulak.
I think Truth has got this. Gulak's on wobbly legs.
Trying to set up for the attitude adjustment. Gulak. Drop by Truth. Truth into the cover to retain his title, and a kick out by Gulak.
An insane impact and elevation on that elbow by R-Truth.
Gulak's in danger right now, and Truth can sense it.
And now R-Truth was looking for that scissor kick right to the back of the neck, and Gulak able to block. Gulak hard into the corner.
You can just feel the disdain that Drew Gulak has for all things R-Truth.
And went back to the knee.
And look at Truth. He finds unconventional ways. Gulak's got him.
Look at Gulak leaping up to the top turnbuckle to join Truth.
This is not going to end well.
Oh, and he's taking it to the top rope, Tom.
WWE Universe looking on here inside Thunderdome.
Mixing up the breadbasket.
And now R-Truth able to escape the top turnbuckle predicament here.
This is may not end well for Drew Gulak now.
Drew Gulak up on the shoulders of R-Truth.
Oh, beautiful counter by Gulak.
Oh, trying to turn it into a pinfall attempt. Now a cover.
counter back.
Truth has pinned Gulak. Truth defends his title.
Here's your winner, and still the 24/7 champion, R-Truth.
Drew Gulak is in shock. Congratulations, R-Truth, successful championship.
And guys, here comes the Lucha House Party and Akira Tozawa. You know what that means?
Go, Truth, run.
The match is over. The title must be defended anytime, anywhere.
Stressful way to live.
Akira Tozawa trying to
Oh
get
my
away
gosh.
from...
You got to win.
You got to
win.
I got the win. You have to win today. Look, there's people.
Look out.
R-Truth, your childhood hero, John Cena, sucks!
Okay, he is very angry.
Wow.
Yeah, this
Maybe
stuff
he
on
said
his
some
mouth.
things that he doesn't necessarily mean.
Wow. Yeah.
That was a bold statement. I don't think anybody
Why's
in
he
this
gotta
room
bring
would
Cena
agree
into
with him
this?
here.
Cena has nothing to do with this.
Nothing to do with it. That was just a hurtful comment.
Truth's childhood friend.
You know, there is one group around here that has been, throwing around some other hurtful comments. I think everyone knows I'm talking about Retribution. So much has happened with them in the past few months. We had no idea who they were. Now, not only do we know who their leader is, they also have contracts with WWE, and they are just ready to challenge anyone who gets in. I mean, this was last Monday. The Fiend, Alexa, they were inside the ring. Retribution comes out. The lights go out.
And this is where everything
This
just
ensues.
turned into something else. Retribution, right there, T-Boy tapping out to Bobby Lashley's Hurt Lock. That's what I like to call it. But when the lights go out, guys, just run. The Fiend just taking everybody to school right now. And right now, everybody's confused because we don't know really what's going on with the Fiend.
Do you know what the greatest thrill in life is? It's watching someone make a bad decision. And over these past few months, I've been watching WWE superstars as they plot against each other and make some very bad decisions. You plan while I laugh. I laughed when I single-handedly shut down the Hurt Business. A group of greedy men that, just like WWE, are nothing more than an evil corporation that don't care about people, they only care about profits. And we have some unfinished business with the Hurt Business. So tonight, I would like to present a proposal. One of ours against one of yours. An MVP, you make the call. Which member of the Hurt Business will fall before Retribution? That's your decision to make.
That's
Well,
a
I
challenge,
wasn't
right?
expecting that, but I will say I'm not surprised one bit. What do you think? Who's going to be the one to represent Retribution, and who will represent the Hurt Business?
If I'm MVP, I'm turning it down.
Exactly.
You don't even think he's
That's
going
the
to
first time I
accept?
ever agree with you.
Okay, MVP's a
Why help these
businessman.
guys out? You're
Yeah,
right.
Why agree to that? That's not what you're dealing with tonight. If I'm MVP, I'm saying thank you, no thank you.
You guys agree with that?
You know,
I do.
I agree in certain aspects, but Mustafa Ali, man, I totally agree with him as far as what he's doing right now. You know, the fans are the reason why Mustafa Ali had to work inside the shadows, not really being able to come out. They didn't really want to get behind Mustafa Ali. And the thing is, sometimes, man, you got to carve your own niche, and that's what Mustafa. I'm sorry,
You are wound up, Hook.
I'm feeling a little bit like Mustafa right now.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, sometimes that's what you got to do.
You sound like a Retribution guy right now.
I was gonna say.
I had no idea.
We're
I
minutes
mean, he's
away.
very passionate. There's
My
a
bad.
lot of passion going to be filling the WWE Thunderdome tonight. Gentlemen, as you know, the Universal Championship is on the line. It is considered one of the highest stakes matches in WWE history. It will take place between the Tribal Chief and the Universal Champion Roman Reigns and his bloodline, Jey Uso. Inside Hell in a Cell, the Cousins will go to war, but the match won't end by pinfall or submission, but with one devastating statement, that being, I quit.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are all here to officially declare Roman Reigns as the Tribal Chief.
I don't want you to call me that. I don't want you to acknowledge me as the Tribal Chief because he didn't acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. Say it to me. I want you to call me Chief.
I want my cousin to come out here. Jay, I want you to come out here right now. All I wanted was to represent our family to the fullest, to share the main event with you. And what did you do? You disrespected me. All you had to do were to say the words, acknowledge me. And you broke my heart.
I don't know you. At Clash of Champions, you showed your true colors, Zeus. You're supposed to be my cousin. Acknowledge me. My blood, my family. You beat my ass. Acknowledge me. But you ain't break my spirit. If Jimmy never threw that towel in, I'm throwing this in, Zeus. Gonna do it. That championship will be mine, Zeus.
You want another shot? It's yours at Hell in a Cell. But I'm telling you right now, this match will have the highest stakes that any match has ever had. For the first time, inside Hell in a Cell, there will be an I Quit match. I love you. And if I was you, I wouldn't accept this challenge. This time there's going to be real consequences.
You changed, Zeus. You done lost connections with yourself and with our family. But who am I to ask, right? Don't ask me. Ask my brother Jay.
When I make you quit, then you're out. And not just you, you brought your brother with you, he's out too. Your wives, your children, your children's children are all out of the family. Those are your consequences.
Now, whoa, guys.
Breaking news.
Before we say anything, this is the Shucky Ducky Quack Quack moment of the night. Right here.
Really?
Go ahead.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is, right there. Now go ahead, Charlie.
And not only that, but this match is starting off Hell in a Cell, so we do not have to wait long to see what transpires between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. And Book, I want to start with you here because you already made a very hot take earlier this week on the Hall of Fame podcast. You said that you believe, while most fans believe Roman Reigns is going to walk out the victor, you believe that Jey Uso is going to be the winner here tonight, and you said it's going to turn the entire world upside down.
And the reason I say that is because, guys, you know, we look at Roman and what he's done in this business. It's been unbelievable. He stepped into some big shoes, and he filled them. But I know what it's like being the little brother. In Jay's instance, the little cousin, always getting second dibs, always getting hand-me-downs, always being the guy in the background. Every photo we see Roman standing tall, and we see the Usos in the background. Tonight, Jey Uso is going to step up and say, look, I'm not your little cousin anymore. I'm looking to become the world champion.
You want to place a wager? Because I cannot see
Let's do
Roman Reigns.
this.
You know,
Roman
this
Reigns
is-
ain't saying I quit tonight.
Yeah,
Roman
I
Reigns
think,
cannot say
I
those
think you're
words.
right. But this reminds me, like in real life, of one of the all-time favorite movies, The Lion King. I mean, this is like living that out.
Yeah.
Who is going to be the tribal leader? Who is going? Like you said, I can't envision either one of these guys saying, "I quit."
Okay, but
Never.
you have to choose. So who would you choose?
He's going with Jey Uso, just like
No,
I
he's
am.
not. Let him
no.
speak for himself. Let him speak for himself.
I'm going because of I think that outside influence, like Lion King, Scar is going to be there at ringside, and I'm going to have to go with Roman Reigns.
Okay, so Paul Heyman would be the Scar.
Scar is
Jeff,
Paul
what do
Heyman.
you-
Without
what do you
question,
say?
I said it at the very top of the hour. Experience is the word of the night. Roman Reigns, but I still can't get over the words that Paul Heyman talked about: indentured servant. This is a family that I've known since my entire career. I've never seen this family be divided, and they are more than divided. But you got to go with Roman in experience.
Okay. All right, Book, you stand alone here.
Yes, you
thinking
do.
that Jey Uso is
I've
going to
been
win. But
alone many,
ladies
many
and gentlemen, we will
days.
not
Many
have to
days.
wait
It's
long
Roman.
to
You
see
see
who the
that?
winner
You see that?
actually is.
Oh, you see that?
As you can see,
Oh, you see that right
the
there?
cell is being lowered.
Book, you just.
The time is up. There is
Chucky,
no
Chucky.
more waiting. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso kicking off Hell in a Cell. And it won't be long here before we hear the words from one of those saying, "I quit." Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Hell in a Cell.